Hi everyone, this is Dr. Linh Phung from Eduling International Academy. Eduling offers online English classes to students from any location, and we have students from Vietnam, the US, and other countries, as you can see in this picture. In this video, I'm going to help you with the IELTS writing task 1, in which you have to describe a diagram. So first, let's talk about the different types of diagrams that you may see in the exam. First, this is a picture of a line graph because you can see a line there. In addition, I would like you to pay attention to the horizontal axis and the vertical axis, because in order to understand the statistics there, you need to know what the horizontal axis indicates and what the vertical axis shows as well. Bar chart is another type of diagram because you can see different bars on my screen. You can see the bars jumping up and down here, or you can call them columns. So these are bars or columns, and this is a bar chart. Here is a picture of a pie chart because it looks like a pie, a piece of pie, or a pie like a cake that you can eat. And there are different sections, and you can call them segments. So sections or segments. You may be very familiar with tables, and in a table there are columns and there are rows. Other key features that you need to pay attention to include the title of the diagram. It is very important so that you know what the diagram shows. And there may be a key section as well. It indicates what, for example, each color in the diagram shows. So you may also need to pay attention to the key section of the diagram. So when you have to describe a diagram, basically, you may need to describe changes. So today I'm going to show you a few verbs and different ways of describe changes. If you would like to describe an increase, you may use the verb increase or rise or go up. So these are very general verbs that you can use. But if you want to describe a big change, then you can use a verb like soar or surge or rocket, like a rocket. It goes up really fast. So let me give you an example here. The oil price soared or surged or rocketed this year, and it is definitely true in the US. You can also indicate whether something reaches the highest point, and in this case, you can use the verb peak. Let me give you an example here. The oil price peaked at $4 a gallon in July. I made this up. It is not really true. On the other hand, when you want to describe a decrease, you can use verbs like decrease, fall, drop, go down, or decline. These are, again, general verbs that you can use. But if you want to describe a big decrease, then you can use a verb like plunge or plummet. If something remains the same, you can use the phrase remain the same, or you can use level off. Another way of describing changes is to use adjectives and nouns. So, for example, you can use a big increase, a dramatic increase, a slight increase. There are a lot of adjectives like this. Today, I'm not going into detail about these adjectives, but you can also think about different adjectives that you can use. In addition, you can use an adverb with a verb. So you could say oil prices dramatically increased last year or slightly increased last year. Moving away from describe changes, when you describe a diagram, you may need to talk about time periods, and you may need to use a lot of time expressions. From my experience, students sometimes are a little bit confused with some of the prepositions that you can use. So let me show you a few prepositions. You can use in if you want to use it with a year in 2012. You can use it with a decade, so in the 1990s, or you can say in the 20th century. If you want to indicate a period of time and you want to use from, then you need to use from 2004 to 2014. So remember from to. However, if you want to use between, you need to use and, between 2004 and 2014. This is pretty simple, but students tend to make mistakes. You can also use during, but with during, you need a period of time. So you can say during the 2004 to 2014 period, and pay attention to how I write numbers here. And also remember the article, the here, during the 2004-2014 period. Another area that you need to pay attention to is to use the correct subject for your verb. And this is what I would like you to remember. People or things don't increase or decrease, numbers do. So if you want to say, don't say international students in the US decreased last year. Students don't decrease or increase. So you need to use these quantifiers or these nouns that indicate quantities. So you can say the number of international students. You can say the amount of money, the percentage of homeowners, the proportion of homeowners or renters, the rate of home ownership. So remember to use these quantifiers when you want to describe numbers and changes. Moving on, I would like to draw your attention to some prepositions that you can use before a number or before some statistics. For example, let's just talk about home ownership in the US. And you can say home ownership increased by 5%. So let's just say I'm talking about last year, 2020, and 2019, home ownership was 55%, but in 2020, it was 60%. So you can say home ownership increased by 5%. This is similar to saying there was an increase of 5% in home ownership. So you use of if you use a noun, the noun increase here before the amount of change. Now, if you want to say that home ownership increased here to 60%, then you need to use the preposition to. So there is a big difference between to and by. Sometimes prepositions depend on the verb. So if you use the verb pick, you need to use the preposition at. Home ownership peaked at 60% in 2010. So that's it for today. My advice to you is you need to practice writing. And after you finish writing, you need to read your writing again and revise it. That is how you learn. If you can get feedback from someone like your friend or teacher, that's even better. You write, you read it again, you get some feedback, and you rewrite it. I would like to share that Eduling actually offers individual feedback. So if you would like to have feedback from a professional teacher like me or IELTS examiners, you can check out our website. Moreover, if you would like to join our classes, we also have a few classes for you to choose from. And that's it for today. I will post more videos about the IELTS exam and other topics in learning English. So subscribe so that you know when I have new videos. Thank you and see you next time. Bye.